So here we are, we're down at the pond, but my pond is super low, so the fish are really skittish. They are probably should be spawning right now. So, you know, you want to approach it being very stealthy. I mean, the fish are, when it's real calm like this, it's, you know, shallow and clear. The fish are pretty spooky, but I can see some down here. So we just fire that thing out there. And it's just like that thing fell out of the tree. Very, very natural. And I just shake it a little bit. I can swim it up there. I can see one right there. Oh, did he get it? He got it. He got it. Not a very big one, but obviously we need to do some fish management in my pond. That'll be a whole nother video, but little guy there. So much for being stealthy now. You can see I'm standing down at the edge of my pond, and my pond should be all the way up here. And it's springtime, so we need some rain here in Kansas if somebody can send some rain this way. But got a little... There's one. But just got heavy and just reeled down and set the hook. Oh, there's a nice one. Not a giant, but nice little pond bass. That, you know, that's the great thing about this too. That good single hook hooks them right in the top of the mouth a lot of times, and you know, it's almost like the biggest thing there is the battle is once they eat it, the longer I let that fish swim around with it, the more he's just going to swallow it. So you almost kind of got to be a little quick on him to not have them all of them swallow the hook. But like I said, it's, you know, the fish are pretty spooky right now. If I was trying to throw a spinner bait or something like that, I don't think my bite ratio would be very good right now, just because it's not great conditions for a moving bait. So the other thing I love about this bait is you get it close to the target. Like if there's a bass next to my little red marker up there, that's actually a mossback structure there. That's, you know, you get this thing close to the target, and I can just basically let that thing sit there, and one's going to bite it, hopefully. But a lot of times that will happen is your initial cast next to a piece of cover, and you're just going to lift up on it, and they're already swimming with it. So that's what makes this thing such a good technique for beginners. All they have to do is get it close to a bass, and a lot of times that initial bait hitting the water, and they're going to catch a fish. Why don't we sneak over towards the dock? Oh, there's one, a good one right there. I just spooked. There's a fish. Oh, there's a better one. Oh, no. There's a fish. Oh, little, of course, the little ones stay on. Lost my bait, of course. Damn it. Let me catch one of my first casts. There's a bite. Oh, gosh, the little tiny ones. And these are why we need to do some fish management out of here. Oh, there we go, a little guy. There he is. Yay. Another great thing about this bait is you can have something like my pond right now that with most baits would be very difficult to fish because there's so much slime in my pond right now. You know, a lot of people come to a pond or a fishing spot that's like this, and it's pretty intimidating because, you know, a crankbait, a spinnerbait, chatterbait, anything hits the slime and it's done. You know, something Texas rigged on the bottom, there's a bite. Oh, that was a bluegill. A lot of times a good bass, they just inhale at that first bite. A lot of times your smaller fish will just peck at it and all that. But you know, we're fishing off the bank, got a lot of this slime on the edges, but I can still, about the only other thing you can fish in this type of conditions is a frog. Obviously that's fun fishing, but they don't necessarily always eat a frog. But that's another thing about this bait. It's a great follow-up bait with a topwater. A lot of times, you know, you'll miss fish with a topwater, and the best bait by far for a follow-up is a Wacky stickworm like this. Uh-oh, there's a bite. Another little guy. Definitely got to do some fish management in here. These are obviously a lot of bass that were spawned last year. It's amazing a pond this size, how many little bass are actually in them. And believe it or not, you can only have so many or feed so many if you want them to get big. There we go. Right next to the moss back there. Another little guy. There we go. There's a better one. Just slid it right up there along the side of that and caught him by surprise. Oh, there you go. So there you have it. You want to catch some shallow fish, best springtime bait there is, just a simple wacky worm of some sorts. Just put it up there in the areas where you think there's fish and just kind of let the bait fall and do its own work. There we go. Sucker came right at me. He was right on the moss back there. Nice little bass. There you go. Just threw it out there by a piece of cover. It just happened to be one of our mossback fish habitats, but right there, that's a good reason right there to show you why I use the reel that I use. This is the Cast King Speed Demon Pro. It's a 7:4-to-1 gear ratio reel. When that fish hit, it came screaming right at me, so I didn't know if it was a 10-incher or a 10-pounder, but you know, that's what I like about this high-speed reel is I can throw it out there and put it in the strike zone, but once I want to get it and make another cast, I can reel it in that much faster with that high-speed reel. And then even that, when a fish bites it and comes running right at me, that higher speed reel allows me to catch up to that fish and you know, land him. I'd say put him in the boat, but we're not in the boat here. A couple more casts. There we go. Oh, hit it as soon as it hit the water. little guy. It will definitely catch a lot of fish. The whole key with this bait is you want to try to put it, that initial cast, right on a target of where you think there is. Here's one of my mossbacks sticking out there. There ought to be a bass hanging out by it. And the neat thing is I can put this thing in there pretty softly, pretty naturally. I mean, that thing hits the water. It looks like something, you know, just falling naturally out of the sky there. And I kind of let it sink for 3 to 5 seconds, shake it a little bit, let it fall again, shake it, let it fall again. Shake it and let it fall. And, you know, it just depends on how much water you cover in between each fall. And it just depends a lot of times on the fish's mood. Like I said, I think these fish right now are probably spawning in here. So the whole key is probably dropping it right in their bed. And if you don't drop it right in their bed or close to their bed, they're not going to bite. So I threw it out there by my little brush pile, shook it, let it fall. I mean, there should be some suspended out there in the middle. So here we got, you know, in the back corner, right here on the corner of my dam, a very likely spot. So I'm just going to try to fire this thing in there, let it naturally hit the water, and just kind of let it, that initial fall, let it just fall down through there, pick it up. And if not, and if one's not swimming with it, I shake it, kind of let it fall again, shake it, let it fall. But, you know, in my pond here, the big battle that I'm dealing with is the slime. And even, you know, I see people make that mistake a lot of times. If you have any slime on there at all, no different than if you were at a buffet and there was some slime on your bait. You're not going to eat it. You know, if it doesn't look natural to them, they're probably not going to eat it as well. So there you have it. That's how you work a wacky worm. It's real simple. Throw it around a piece of cover and just let the thing sink. That's the best thing you can do. If nothing else, reel it in, throw it another target, let it sink, shake it a couple times, reel it in, and do it again. As you can see, my pond is infested with little ones. So we'll actually be doing a video soon about how to manage that as well. So thanks for tuning in.